Hi, my name is Phalguni Guliani and I'm a curator.
Hi, I'm Siddhartha Hajra. I'm an artist.
Hi, I'm Soumya Sankar Bose from Calcutta. I'm an artist.
My name is Marfu Harris and I'm an artist.
And our exhibition, Just Wide Enough to Hold the Weight, is part of the 2021 Guest Curatorial Program at Baxter St at the Camera Club of New York. I'm a believer in you have to let the work do the talking. You have to let the work speak to you and tell you what you need to do with it. And if you allow the work to do the talking, if you let it speak to you, the hope is that it will also be able to speak to a wider set of audiences, and that I will be able to make it speak to a wider set of audiences. In my practice, I'm looking at the interstice. So that could be the interstice between image and text, between sense and viscera, between seeing and unseeing. And what this kind of interstitial thinking does for me is that it makes me really interested in the in-between space, in the moment that's really pregnant with change. And the framing device that I've used in this exhibition to think about that transformative moment is the crack. A crack that is a space that exists for a moment in time before say night becomes day, before a whisper becomes a bang. And by offering an articulation of LGBTQ identity that really forefronts queer voices, what this exhibition hopes to do is to offer a crack in our perception of gender identity. And it's these small cracks, these ruptures, these kind of seismic shifts that carry within them to the potential to become larger tectonic ripples. That's what I'm chasing in my exhibition making. Can we create a crack in perception, and can that crack be just wide enough to hold the weight of newfound meaning? Can it be just wide enough to let light in on it? So that's where the title of the exhibition comes from.
I feel that, when I make work, I feel that it is about the people I work with, and I would like to think that the work I do are an incantation of unique lives that have touched mine. This is how I see my work and my practice. It is more instinct-based, and when I say instinct-based, I mean that when I make work, it's not based on project-centric approach. And when I don't look at work, or when I don't look at my practice as a project-centric approach, it liberates not just me and my photography, and it helps me instead to focus more on the rawness of the moment and the viewer who enters my work. And when I say this, because I say they are liberated from any tokenisms or any kind of ideas with which they enter this work. I don't give them any ideas or preconceived notions with which they can enter the work. I wanted to free the images of I See You Better in the Dark from the wall. And we wanted to create a viewing experience of this archive, because I have been looking at these images for the past 10 years. And what it gives is a sense of being inside a library where you're gently touched by knowledge. And the question of knowledge brings us to the question of illumination, which is how we present this light table. And when I talk about illumination, I also think about the question of darkness, because who it is that we see better in the dark. And that's where Emily Dickinson's poem, I See You Better in the Dark, comes in as the title of this work. And I see myself writing my own photo poem, and I'm glad that Phalguni pushed me towards doing so.
Full Moon on a Dark Night, this project I started 8 years back in 2014. And this project is all about my friends, and it's also started from Vaishali and Shubhi, and then gradually it spread to others. When I started this project in 2014, it was still like homosexuality was criminalized in India. But in 2018, the law lifted, and how the social taboo is still there, and how we all are growing up together older, and how these things are impacting in our society. So that's his main part in my practice. What I love about this exhibition is that Phalguni established the connection between three different artists from the different part, from Siddhartha's work, Marvel's work, my works, like working differently, but still there is a connection. There's a connection of the body, the connection of representation. Also, is a three same generation who are trying to define queerness. That's why I found this exhibition is very appealing and interesting too. I feel really like proud and happy to see my work with two other artists, and thank you so much.
Photography became a tool by which I feel most confident in expressing myself. I have learned to understand the root of my conflicts and express emotions that I previously struggled to make sense of. The works that are exhibited, they are part of my project's inner journey, which follows my personal battles with gender identity, autism, and mental health. Having lacked examples of people I could identify with, I want my work to serve as a voice for those who struggle with their gender identity or mental health, but cannot find words to express themselves. I'm hopeful for a world where we are all treated with dignity and will be fully seen for who we are in our imperfect bodies. And therefore I'm grateful that Phalguni invited me to participate in the exhibition among the other great artists, and that my project Inner Journey has now traveled to New York and maybe helped start the conversation about the topics surrounding gender identity and mental health.
Another thing that I think is interesting about these bodies of works and brings them together is that gender which is very much at the heart of the conversation these artists are having, gender is only a door through which they're inviting you in to their operatic worlds. But when you enter that, the conversation is much wider and wide enough, I would like to think, to hold the weight of the door that has framed it.